When I was a kid, I was always so good about putting my seatbelt on. I mean, unlike some kids. But during Halloween of 2015, I don't know what came over me. So I was dressed as Frankenstein. We were coming from a mall, and we were going somewhere else for Halloween. And I was just talking to my parents. Can't remember what about, but I was super happy. I had a smile on my face. But I was leaning up, I was leaning up. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh shoot, I don't have my seatbelt on. And then they were like, Gavin, come on now. It's like, yeah. I was like, well, that could have been bad. But yeah, it was weird, and I just remembered it today, and I was like, gotta remember this. So another thing that happens, that has to do with seatbelts, is my brother used to always, when he was in his seat or whatever, he would always, he would be latched into it or whatever, be across his chest and everything, but sometimes it would get loose, and he would just be like, and then my dad would look back and be like, y'all got your seatbelts on, right? And then we'd be like, yeah. And I was like, what? I was like, why you always ask that? And he's like, well, I always see this little dude always leaning forward, so I gotta make sure as a parent. And he was like, but yeah, my dad was pretty valid for that. My dad was pretty great for that. Just wanted to keep my brother safe, keep me safe, all that. When I was a freshman, the day before spring break, I was taking a math test and I had to use the bathroom. So I asked to go, but I ended up going on my little side quest for way longer than I intended to. So basically, I went to the bathroom, and then somebody else came in right behind me that I knew, and there was these juice cups in the freaking urinals. Now, there wasn't any, pee in it or whatever. And, I was just getting ticked off with it, and I just didn't want people to deal with it. And I was like, I'm just going to take these out. So I just, quickly picked them up, and then I, went to wash my hands. But anyways, while I was washing my hands, there was this dude in the stall. And I just hear this guy saying, ugh, I'm tired of these mother effers in here. And he was like, dang. And he just, slung the door open. And then the guy that I knew, he, just ran out. And, I was like, oh shoot, this crap's getting serious. So I ran out, and then he came out of there. I was against the wall. I was kind of trying not to laugh because I don't know what was going on. He was like, and then he came out. I was like, which one of y'all did it? Which one was the guy that threw those juice cups over the stall? And we were we just didn't know what he was talking about. I had moved them, so I thought maybe he was talking about that. But we didn't throw him over. And then he screamed super loud, and an administrator heard him and came by, or no, a teacher, and then she was like, don't worry, I'm getting an administrator called up here. And I was just like, I have no idea what he's freaking talking about. And yeah, so we went there, talked to him. The administrator checked the cameras where I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, well, thanks for doing that. I know a lot of people leave that kind of trash in there. So, I mean, he thanked me for, getting the trash out. But he was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. And the guy also said, he didn't know what was going on. But I don't know what that guy was on. I don't know if he was on some freaking drugs or hallucinating. But, yeah. 2020, me and my family made a short trip to North Carolina, and for the first 2 nights we stayed at a casino, and then for the last night we went to my mom's friend's house, who lived in North Carolina, and she had a husband and 2 stepkids, and me and my brother had kind of hung out with the kids. And the next morning, the dad, he was making us breakfast, and we were sitting out this island, and one of the kids was sitting right across from him, and then he just asked, what if somebody put a bunch of cyanide in cookies and sold it to kids? Right to his dad, to which his dad responded with, I think we need to speak to Miss Karen again. To which he said, no, please. But yeah, but I just, I hope that kid is doing better and not making jokes like that, so yeah.